Yeah, this is so fucking clear right now. I don't even know what to say right now. Gonna let me upgrade you to my thing, introduce you to a new thing. What the fuck is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Shania Diaries. Now, this is not your typical mental health podcast. In this podcast, we talk about entrepreneurship, elevation, everything that comes with being 20-something in society, trying to make it and just not be regular. I told y'all, we are not going to be dealing with audio and visual issues for much longer. Your girl upgraded, got a camera. Whenever you buy a new camera though, like, you have to get everything. Like, so I'm still working on getting a microphone, so hopefully the audio is good enough. It's good enough. It's gonna have to be. Welcome back to another episode, y'all. I know that we are in a completely different environment. Right now, I have a guest up in my apartment, so I just decided to film down here in my little apartment, common area, you know the vibe. Because nothing stops the motion, nothing stops the train, not even a visitor, okay? How have y'all been though? I miss y'all. Oh my gosh, I've been so freaking busy, so freaking busy. But we are gonna get into it in today's episode. I haven't figured out a title yet, but it's something along the lines of like, is this what unthawing feels like? Is this what coming back to life feels like? Because I felt like January, I was super numb, disassociative, in like a really bad mental space. And then now I feel like I'm unthawing. I don't feel like I'm completely back to like old Shania that I was before, probably about like, honestly, before my birth. Honestly. Let's be real here. Let's be real. Because now that I think about it, it was a gradual decline into the pit of burnout, death pit valley, you know? So like, I can't even say like that the old Shania was like a couple months ago. I think honestly, like, I'm unthawing and getting back to like figuring out who I am now, I would say. And now as in post my dad passing away, so new grief Shania, being 25 and my frontal lobe developing like almost fucking instantly, and me now having a better moral compass than I did before, that happened because I turned 25 in September. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like, 2024, I was fighting for my life because, like I said, I started the year with my dad passing away, and I fought really hard, and I worked really hard, and I still crashed and burned. So I think right now I'm in the unthawing period of, honestly, 2024 in a whole. I'm excited to be excited about life again. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like at first I was content because I was like, this is what the new life looks like. This is what the new me looks like. But it's like I was overworking. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was ignoring the grief instead of dealing with it, which ended up tormenting me in like my professional life, in my personal life. Like, I didn't like myself. I felt like I was fighting demons from like my dad passing. Like, it was so much to unpack. Like, and especially when someone passes and you're not actively grieving, like some people, like that's why they say like you can't judge the way people grieve, because sometimes it takes a delayed hit, and I feel like mine was just like a very dragged out delayed hit. So I feel excited because now like I'm at a point where it's like, okay, I'm ready to start loving myself and taking care of myself again. I'm ready to start exploring new things, bringing back old passions, like bringing back what made me me. It's just more of that feeling of feeling stagnant, feeling like I was just in a numb state. Like, I was telling my therapist, like, I don't feel anything. Like, I completely got to the point where I burnt out, completely disassociated all of January. And so now, like, February, the bitch is warm. We're warm. Like, we're a warm toaster strudel. We're almost ready to pop and get out the oven and really start turning this shit up. So I'm excited. I've been doing such a deep cleanse from social media. I've barely been on social media, but I've been on TikTok, and I saw this story of the girl who flew herself to ATL, y'all, for a YN, and she's 31. Like, girl, get up. And I'm only saying this from a place of love because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I've done some dumb shit. That's why I can't judge nobody, because I may have not done that, but I've probably done something closer to that. I'm not gonna lie, nothing close to that. I'm not no freako. I was confused about the damn throat spray too. But I mean, like, putting yourself, I feel like from like an outsider standpoint, like, yeah, we can all judge her and judge the decision that like she went out there Valentine's Day weekend without a for sure this and whatever the case may be. But like, honestly, where does your mental have to be at for you to be 31 flying out to see a 25-year-old YN who you think has money? Like, I just think that that's like a direct reflection of like where we're at in society right now and in dating. And I think that's like another reason why I'm taking a hard step back from dating. I have enough male friends. Like, I have a good amount of male friends. I don't need any more. Because it's just like, it's become so transactional. Because I bet you if he went to go see her, it would have never been a TikTok story. And I feel like now it's like she's actually validating herself, like, oh, I fuck your favorite rapper and all this other shit. Why does that matter? These are all people at the end of the day. Like, it's kind of sad that like this is where we're at, like, and I'm just like, damn girl, because she is so beautiful. And like, because you came to social media popping your shit, he came to social media popping his shit with receipts, and then now on top of that, he's trying to call you a catfish, and this isn't that, and that, and this. Not saying any of those things are true or accurate, but all I'm saying is a lot of these things could be avoided if we take the time to like vet people out a little bit more. I'm selectively taking myself out of the game until we bring romance back. Honestly, the minute that he was texting you back and forth like, oh, let me know the next time you're in ATL, that already tells you that he's not interested, like, or at least not interested enough to make it happen. And honestly, that's okay, because you're a stranger. He does not know you, not obligated to do shit. Take the time to vet people out more. Like, take the time to like actually get to grow a connection with a nigga and see if like, you know, like, because people aren't just spending their money. Like, in this economy, I don't know who's flying people out anymore. Unless you really like that, I don't know who's flying people out anymore, y'all. Like, it's my heart hurt for her. Like, that seemed like some shit that would be on like Insecure, like dead ass. Like, I just, ooh. Ladies, we just need to love and respect ourselves a little bit more than to just like put ourselves in situations like that. Like, no, again, no hate or judgment to her though, because we've all made stupid decisions going to see niggas. Like, I went and drove a couple hours to go see a nigga wasting my time. So like, I understand the frustration, and I'm pretty sure like half the people judging her has done the shit too. So like, shut the fuck up. Like, making think pieces, talking shit. Like, I think the only think piece there needs to be is like, shit, like, I think you need to give yourself a little bit more TLC, babe. And that's okay. Like, you know, take your L. Like, for me, I'm glad I take my L's in silence. I'm not gonna take L's on the well, everyone's gonna take L's on the internet, but you brought this L to the internet. Love yourself a little bit more. You thought you were gonna call him out and embarrass him, and instead it turned on you, and now you feel like you're defending yourself. That's all I'm saying, because that shit was like pretty wild. Okay, y'all, so now that we chit-chat and got a bit comfortable, let's get to the journal topic for today. So as you guys know, I'm gonna put the journal topic on the screen. Get your journal out, write your answer, and respond. I'm gonna respond on camera, but if you're comfortable, respond in the comments. I want to see what your answers might be. Period. Girls are so nice. She was like, oh my gosh, is she a YouTuber? She was like, she's so cute. Y'all, if that wasn't a confirmation from God, I don't know what is, because sometimes I'd be so embarrassed to record, especially embarrassed to record in public, but we chasing our dreams 2025, damn it. Okay, now I'm all giggly. Fuck, I love women. Okay, what aspects of my younger self would I like to reconnect with? I would like to reconnect with the 2018 version of myself who didn't feel like I could fail at anything. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, 2018 me, you can ask anybody who knew me in high school. I knew I was gonna be a famous model. I knew I was gonna be walking runways. I knew that people was gonna know my name, and I was gonna be like a fucking cover girl. I literally say that I'm like the next Naomi Campbell, like the next Tyra Banks. Like, I was going to agencies, I was doing model walks, I was doing so many things to like push my dreams, and I was relentless about it. Like, relentless. Like, you could not tell me that I wasn't gonna make it. But yeah, like, I literally felt like I could do anything, and I felt like if you didn't believe in me, you were fucking crazy. Looney Tunes, like, send them to the psych ward. Having that much faith in myself as a creative is so important. I think the mixture of growing up and then really going viral on the internet and having a bunch of people talk shit about you, like millions of people see your video talk shit about you, like, that is hard. That is hard. That's really mentally trying. And I think at 18, 19, I was not prepared. Like, I was already like dealing with a bunch of mental health issues. I really internally hated myself, and I was around people who fucking hated me too. So like, getting the hate on the internet on top of all that was like extremely overwhelming. I think it put me in a period of where like, now I'm like more realistic. But like, honestly, what is realistic? People chase their dreams unexpectedly every fucking day. You could run into an opportunity every single day just by putting yourself out there. And I think by letting like the world humble me and make me feel like I wasn't as good as I thought I was, I missed out on so many different opportunities because I felt like imposter syndrome, like I wasn't good enough to be there. I think at this point in my life, definitely from here on out, or like definitely like I'm hyper fixating this year on putting myself out there, like being relentless about letting people know like who Shania is, what the Shania Diaries is, what Certified Sipper is, what what all of everything that encompasses me, what I'm all about, and why I'm so fucking great, and why you should tune in and fuck with me. And I think that that's important, honestly, for any business owner, because like not everyone is built to be a business owner. Like you gotta be able to pop your shit, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not kinda good at popping my shit, but it's okay because I'm working on it. But like, you know, like you have to have that level of I don't give a fuck. And like, I'm not gonna lie, life has made me give a fuck about everything. Like, yo, it's not funny because I literally let everything get to me. But I'm working on it. But yeah, that's my answer. Thank you so much for letting me have a safe space with y'all. What's the answer to your question? If you feel comfortable, let me know. So now let's get to the mental health segment of the podcast. So what I wanted to talk about today is like about a month ago, like in early January, before I hit like my complete burnout point, my therapist made a comment to me and she said sometimes you need to slow down or pause so that you don't completely hard stop and burn out. Honestly, she mentioned it before January, but in January, that's when she was like, remember what I was talking about? Like, this is that burnout. At the time, I didn't understand that because someone whose whole identity was hyper fixated on overachieving, getting it out the mud, hustling, being the one where I don't know how she did it, but she's still here. She's still in the apartment. She's all alone, but she's still here. I took so much pride in that. Like, so much unnecessary pride in that, because all it did was make me look at life like I have to struggle and have strife to be able to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. And so when I did have something life-changing, life-altering like that happen, and I needed to like adjust the way I did things, I didn't know how to adjust. I just went straight to, let me work doubles. Let me make more money. If I make more money, or if I'm constantly around people or constantly working, I'm constantly proving my worth. And like, it was feeling that validation piece. It was also feeling the piece of like, then I don't have to sit here and think about, you know, the trauma that I dealt with my dad, and now him being gone and us not being able to like reconcile or deal with the trauma. I'm not gonna lie, like one of the things that was so tough for me that I battled with a lot last year is I sat and I'm pretty transparent about this. I didn't talk to my dad for the last 7 years of his life because I set a boundary with him, and I basically like, I'm not gonna go deep into it, but I set a boundary with him, and I'm like, if you can't respect this boundary, then you can't be in my life. And he chose not to be in my life. And so we didn't talk for the last 7 years of my life. And I've always told myself, like, I will allow my dad to be there when he apologizes, when he can at least acknowledge what he's done and his part of the wrongdoing. Because like, there's two sides to every story, and in that story with that situation, we were both wrong. And I feel like I was at a place where I can admit that I was wrong. And my dad is the type of person, or he was the type of person where he didn't feel the need to apologize to any child about anything. Like there's no admitting that you're wrong. Even if you are wrong, there's no like, you know, there's no I'm sorry's. It's just like, you got to suck it up and deal with it. I'm your dad. Like, and I don't see life that way. There is no black and white. Like, that's why I have a hard time. Like, I don't think family's any more special than a regular person on the street. If I'm being completely honest, I am not a family oriented person because of things like this. I didn't realize that after my dad passed away, how heavy that decision was gonna sit on my heart. Like, I think that was one of the hardest things I dealt with all last year. I think that was the hardest part of the grieving process that I dealt with all last year, because I felt like a fraud for grieving my dad, because I felt like I had no intention on speaking to him till he apologized anyways. I wasn't going to talk to him in 2024. The rate he was going, who knows if he was going to apologize or not, or meet me halfway. Me and my siblings have had conversations, and he's not the type of person to meet anybody halfway. Basically, like, what did I expect? I think I was like beating myself up because it was like, what did you expect to happen? Like, he wasn't going to live forever. Like, but also I think a part of me was mourning the fact that like, maybe I would have been the extra bigger person and went to go say something, or like, you know, all these other things, all these possibilities. That's just one of the things, or one of the layers of like, one of the layers of grief and mourning that I was dealing with in association to my dad passing away. So that was really heavy on my heart throughout the year, amongst other things. I kept asking my therapist, like, how do I pause? How do I pause? Like, I had like a mini mental breakdown, like in May, after a series of unfortunate events happened. If you guys want to hear about it, let me know. But it was like literally a series of unfortunate events. I had a mental breakdown, quit my job, and literally lived off my savings for the next 2 months until I started my corporate job. And so I thought that was pausing and stopping. But that whole time I was dealing with other stressors and other things, and I wasn't prioritizing myself or my mental health, or really like being able to like give myself the love and the time and attention and support that I really needed. I realized in that year that like I need my mom. Like it's so hard to say as an adult sometimes like that you need your parent because we want to be so hyper independent. Like I don't need anybody. I needed my mom. Like, and I'm out here in Texas alone dealing with this shit. Like never dealing with grief in my life, never seeing a dead body in my life until my dad's like that shit. Like it's helped me punk myself out of like a lot of decisions or like unpunk myself. Like whenever I get anxiety about confronting people, because I have a confrontation anxiety, I would be like, well, you saw your dad's dead body, so like you shouldn't be afraid of anything else. And then I'd be like, valid, say what you need to say. That is the most morbid way to think about it, but like that's a way that I've turned it into something that's like more empowering and helps me push myself and push my boundaries like as a person. Yeah, at that point I thought that's what pausing and stopping looks like. And it wasn't, because months later, I'm now at like I said in the beginning, burnout alley, like the pit of fucking fire, like down here, like at rock bottom again. And I haven't felt like this since I first moved to Texas. So it's like being in the rebuild and rebrand stage, like it's very different. And I think now that I've had time to really like go through it, I think I'm learning that taking a break and pausing is just giving yourself some grace to be a fucking human. I can only speak for myself, but I work myself like a damn machine. Like, because I've known since I was a kid that I'm not meant to be regular. Like, my skin itches and crawls when I feel like I'm in a position where shit's regular. Or like, and regular means something different to everybody. I'm not even going to define my definition of regular because I'm not trying to offend anybody, because my life is regular right now. My life has always been regular. My life has actually been below regular most of the time. But I've always had, like, I used to call myself the girl with the stars in her eyes, because I've always known from like a child that I was meant to get it out the mud and be something. With that became this drive, this uncontrollable drive, this relentless drive, to where like I feel like if I sit and rest, or if I sit and I just exist and I'm just Shania, I feel like you're not productive, you're not good enough, you're not worthy to sit and rest. What have you done? What have you accomplished today to be able to eat this ice cream for breakfast, or be able to go out and drink with your friends and do stuff like that? Like, it created an internal bully, like an internal dictator. Like, you can't do this, you can't do that. What have you done? Have you edited 10 videos? Have you recorded your podcast today? Have you ran a fucking mile, cooked and bathed your cat? Like, no. Who does that much stuff during the day, every single day? Of course you're gonna burn out. I think taking a break and pausing for me is falling in love with the lazy side of me. Falling in love with me. Like, fuck the lazy side, all of me. Like, falling in love with the part of me that just might need to not edit today, or the part of me that just might not need to be seen today. Just listening to myself and my body more, and stop doing what everybody wants but give myself what I need. All of my life, I've given people what they want over what I need. And I think that's what taking a break looks like for me personally. That's what a pause looks like for me personally. And I'm excited to continue to explore what my new work life and pursuing my dreams and goals look like, while giving myself grace to be human. Because it's not gonna be perfect. Like, you don't just stop a fucking running machine like automatically just by turning the fucking off button. It has to slow down first before it completely stops functioning the way it was before. Just like enjoying that process, enjoying life. Like, I'm trying to fall in love with the process more, fall in love with not knowing, fall in love with just existing, like just being here. Because I'm not going to be as young as I am right now. I'm 25. I'm in my mid-20s. I spent a lot of my years just, well, when I push to this, when I get to this, by the time I'm 25, I'm going to do this. I didn't accomplish any of that shit. Being real, I did not accomplish any of that shit. I accomplished a lot of shit. I accomplished shit that I didn't even know that I wanted nor could accomplish. But it wasn't the shit that I wanted to accomplish, because like the way I was moving, like you can't, I don't know. So this is a sign that if you're an overachiever like me, give yourself some grace, breathe, you deserve it. The mission isn't delayed because you're slowing down, as long as you don't stop. But it's okay to slow down and pause. And I also want to talk about, like, what does burnout look like to you? So burnout looks different for every person. I think when I realized I was in burnout was because, like, I was completely disassociated. Like, I do already have like mental health diagnosis as well. That's why I'm using certain words. Maybe one day, if y'all care, I will share them, because it's a mental health podcast. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, like, it's me being in a disassociative state, but still working. Like, that's the crazy thing. It's like I was disassociative. I was in such a masculine era. I was angry, but also so numb and so like, I almost felt like I was stuck. Okay, this sounds crazy. I do not know if you guys watch anime, but like the last Demon Slayer that came out, when the Miss Hashira was stuck in that bubble, and it's like I felt like I was like that, like watching life go beside me. But then also it's like just trying, like I was dropping podcast episodes, I've been dropping clips, I've been doing this and that. I just kept like inching forward, trying to burst out the bubble, but I literally just fucking couldn't. Like, also extremely self-sabotaging. In my burnout mode, like I wasted so much fucking money self-sabotaging. Am I self-sabotaging? I can tell y'all right now, it's on Mary Jane and men. Those are my two biggest vices. It's always been. And I know that those are the two things that the devil attacked me with. And that's why I need to like work on it. Because, yeah, like I said, I'm glad I take my L's in private. But yeah, no, extreme self-sabotaging behavior. Shopping all the time. Spending money on food. Spending money on Ubers to see men. Going on dates. Doing this, doing that. Like, shit I know I shouldn't be doing when I'm already feeling fucking low. Because I know when I'm feeling like myself, I don't be tolerating that shit. So it's like, those are all the ways, like, I knew that I was in my extreme fucking burnout mode. Like, didn't give a fuck. Y'all, like, I'm not delusional. I'm a pretty girl. But, like, to the point where I did not want to be seen at all. Like, that's how I knew, like, Miss Mamas was out of commission. I was locked up. They won't let me out. All in all, that's where my mental's been, like, honestly, like, this past month and a half. Like, just complete transparent moment. So yeah, now that I've shared where I've been at mentally, where have you been at mentally? Have you ever experienced a burnout? What does your burnout look like? How do y'all function through your burnout? Any recommendation is a good recommendation because I love trying things that other people have tried. So now that we've talked a bit about mental health, let's get to the elevation segment. So today I want to talk about things that I did to elevate out of this burnout, because yes, I already told you I'm an overachiever, so you know I was gonna come with the steps on how I got out of the burnout. What the fuck? How I got back the personality, like, please. Okay, so first, one thing I did was just give myself grace. Give myself grace to just, like I said before, be a human. Being like, okay, cool, I'm not gonna work out today. I don't feel like it. I'm a fucking human. It's fine. You can move your cheat day from Saturday to Wednesday, for instance, if it's something like that. Giving myself more grace looked like to me was like, okay, you said you weren't gonna spend money on eating out. Okay, cool. Well, you said you're gonna eat out once a month. This is just gonna be the once a month. You know, you feel like shit. It'll make you feel better. Okay, cool. That's fine. Instead of just forcing myself to like push through it. I don't know why I thought that was gonna work. Next thing I did was prioritize my faith more. I noticed that when I'm like going through things or in these very dark alleys of life, 9 times out of 10, I've neglected listening to my sermons every day. I've neglected praying twice every day. I pray every day, but I like to do 2 like deep prayers, like almost meditation like prayers. Like I've been trying to practice building my relationship with God and getting closer to him. At bare minimum, I try to do like those 2 things every day, but I know that I'm slacking when I don't do those 2 things and I don't journal. Making sure that I do those things not only when I feel bad, but maintaining and making sure I do those every day is a way that I help get myself out of burnout. Because like, I don't know about y'all, but starting my day off with a good sermon is the best way for me to like just keep God in mind and intentionally like throughout the day when I make decisions or I get upset or I feel some type of way, like just thinking like, okay, cool, like what was your sermon about this morning? Because I'm not gonna lie, God gives you what you need exactly when you fucking need it. And yes, I did just say that. I'm healing, not healed. I'm trying. Look, I don't want nobody in the comments calling me a lukewarm Christian because I'm gonna call you a judgy one. Prioritizing my faith more. I'm also looking into getting a study Bible. My best friend, she said, I don't even want to misspeak on her, but she says that it's this one study Bible that her whole family uses that she found that's really good. So I am gonna invest in that so I can just continue to do little things every day just to keep myself like mentally, emotionally, and spiritually like afloat. The next thing I did was I spent an extreme amount of time with people who love me and made me feel loved and valued. In this time of burnout, even when I didn't feel like myself, like my best friend was there every fucking day, damn near. Like my best friends who live far were there every fucking day, like pouring into me. And not because they had to, but just because they wanted to. I realized in this time, like the power of like female friendship. And I've always been the person who didn't have a lot of female friends, and you don't need a lot in your circle of females, but like just being surrounded by a strong group of women who love and care about each other, like that really helped me a lot. Like just constantly, like I said, I love recommendations. So my friends like recommending things to me, like maybe this will make you feel better. Like, have you heard this? Sending me sermons. Like my best friend Sav just sent me a book on like, you know, changing your perspective about things that I'm about to start reading. Like just things like that bring you back to life. Like it like starts the unthawing process, because it's like it takes a village sometimes, even as an adult. And this is coming from someone who always felt like they didn't really need anybody. Just leaning on people, like not everybody, but leaning on the people that you truly love and care about, and who love and care about you. Like that definitely helped me like get out of this burnout. And one of the last things I did was watch a fuck ton of feel good shows. Y'all, when I tell you I am literally like a Sex and the City addict, I'm almost done with the last season of Insecure. I rewatched Bleach, like, because I love anime too, y'all. I started downnnnnn. Like, oh my gosh. I tried to watch a little bit of Gossip Girl. I couldn't really get into it, but I have so many other series that I'm about to like start binge watching. I'm a binge watcher. Like, I don't really listen to music, but like I'm like podcast, movie, TV kind of person. So it's like consuming a fuck ton of the feel good shit. Like, I'm sorry, every single time I watch Carrie or Issa go through something, I no longer feel like a dumb bitch. Like it just makes me feel like seen. It makes me feel like, damn, like I don't care if this shit is fiction. I know that there's somebody going through this shit, and just watching somebody go through something similar or even worse than what I'm going through makes me feel better. If call the police if it's wrong, but like I don't care. Like it makes me feel better. Oh my gosh. And then Issa's other show, Rap Shit, look, if London's watching this, she's gonna be so mad because it took me so long to watch it. I started watching it right when they announced that they weren't gonna make another season. That shit was so good. Like shows like that where you're just like, I like watching like shows where people like chasing their dreams and it's hard. Like even Snowfall. Love Snowfall. It is about selling crack to the fucking hood. But look. Hear me out. There was struggle, like he was getting out the mud. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying sell drugs. I ain't condoning that shit. But it's just one of those shows that is like, damn, like we all going through it trying to make it. It don't feel so lonely out here. So those are some of the ways that I elevated out of burnout. Am I completely out of burnout yet? Fuck no. But look, we getting a little warmer. We getting a little warmer. We getting there. I gotta make a song out of fucking everything for me to like fucking power through it. I don't know why. Okay, so now y'all, we are on our last segment, the entrepreneurship section. Where entrepreneurs at? I ain't forget about you. We here. So even though I was super burnt out, I was so inspired creativity wise. Like for instance, my podcast, y'all, mark my words, by the end of this year, I'm gonna be one of the most well-known mental health podcasts on YouTube. That's just what it is. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be the best, but people are gonna know the Shania Diaries. And look, I'm even opening to change the name eventually. Y'all help me. I'm cool with it. I just didn't know what else to put other than the Shania Diaries. Even through burnout, I could see that vision because I'm like, damn, like I know what I go through, other people go through. I know people want to hear some real shit and on a real raw way that's not some fucking soothing, let me just, we get it. Some people are those girlies. Some people need the mental health a little chaotic. And I'm, look, this is your safe space. This is our side of the internet, babe. But yeah, so it sparked the inspiration for that, and the amount of people who want to be interviewed on my podcast, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I'm so freaking excited. I don't even know when I want to start interviewing people or bring in interviewees, but I have so many people that I want to interview that are so talented in so many different spaces of entrepreneurship. So I'm excited to see what kind of conversations and things like that I can have with them on the podcast. Super excited about that. And also, I actually just picked up a new client for my business, and I'm so excited because, so the new client is for my social media management and marketing business. And I was super scared going into the new year because I was like, damn, okay, I've had this business for about, this year is going to be going on, I believe the 3rd year. And I haven't had a client for the business in at least a year. I was focused on getting my finance certifications because for me, what I thought is if I can get my finance certifications, that can be my bread and butter, and then I could work on my businesses and I could pick up clients for those without having to stress about like paying my bills and all this other stuff. If you're an entrepreneur who still needs to work a 9 to 5, you know the struggle. It just didn't work out that way because after I got my certifications, I was doing great in my job, thriving, and then I burnt out. So all that to say, I was kind of stressed on how I was going to bring my business into the new year, how I was going to get new clients, and even what fields I wanted to work in, because right now I just work with small businesses. I like working with small Black-owned businesses because my idea is like I want to help people who don't have a lot of resources be able to grow with their social media. But the way my life's transitioning right now, I know that I always want to focus on that, but I wanted to start getting more niche specific. I was thinking about a bunch of different niches. Like my friend Isa, she has actually a real estate social media management agency, and she is doing an amazing job. So she's in that niche. I know people who are in like food niches and things like that. A couple of the people I used to work were actually in the food industry, and I did great with food. So all that to say, I didn't know where I was going with it. And it was like God literally dropped this client in my lap and was like, here, show me what you can do with this. And so far it's been so freaking good, y'all. Like, oh my gosh. So just in overall profile views in the last 3 weeks, his overall profile views went up 13.1 thousand people. So in the last 3 weeks of working with me, his channel got viewed 13.1K more than he was before. Like, y'all, in 3 weeks, like, I really do this. Like, it's so hard because I have so much imposter syndrome because I like beat myself up internally. But it's like God literally dropped him in my lap and was like, see what you can do. And I just been researching. I've been trying shit. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, the spark has been ignited. Like, because yes, I'm doing social media, but it's for a whole different niche. So there are things you need to learn, things you need to figure out. And it's like the process of figuring that out and learning that shit has just like, it's made me feel really good and really excited. So I have no complaints right now. Like, this unthawing process, like, it's been doing what it needs to do. Because I was gonna let go of the business, honestly. I was debating if it was something I need to let go and just focus on my podcast and my other business. Was I just trying to do too much? And God was like, no, just wait, let me cook. And that's why I'm like, shoot, now it's time for me to start. Women in the kitchen, you feel me? So one thing I can say I got from that is like, don't be afraid to pivot, y'all. It's not gonna go our way all the time, and it's not gonna always go as you plan it. Never be afraid to pivot, and always put yourself in the position to win, because you never know what you have to do and which ways you have to turn to be able to get to your dreams. Because it's like, it may not be a turn that you wanted to make, but it could lead you to that door faster, possibly. Or it could just lead you to a lesson that you needed to learn type shit. Or like a lesson you needed to learn on some shit, you know? But yeah, and I also heard in a sermon a couple months ago, write your plans in pen and not pencil, because God has the final say. He already wrote out how everything was gonna go. So it's good to have a plan, but write it in pencil, because God's gonna kind of guide you along the way. I'm a woman of God. I'm trying to, earn my stripes. So I'm trying to do what I need to do to get there. Get to heaven. I play too much. So that is the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what was your favorite part and what part helped you out the most today. Follow me on all of my socials. Keep track of me and what I'm doing. If you're also following, I'm 20 something, just trying to figure that shit out. That shit's on TikTok. So follow me for more content like that. If you guys ever need anything, feel free to DM me, reach out to me. I love y'all so much. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health. And I will see y'all next episode.